Hello, this is Required Fields, and I apologize for in advance because I'm not really feeling the best today. But anyways, I'm going to be filming a new video. This video is going to be another installment in my Catalog Cripplers series, where I discuss albums that are known for having harmful effects on the careers of metal bands. And today, the album I am going to be discussing is going to be the third album from Atrocity, titled Blut. Now, Atrocity is a German band who started out in the 1980s playing grindcore under the name of Instigator, but by the time they made it to, before they made it to making their first full-length album, they changed their name to Atrocity, and also changed their sound to death metal. With their 1990 album, Hallucinations, their debut, that album is, I believe, the first death metal concept album, as the album tells the story of a victim of sexual abuse as a child, and she ends up taking a dark descent down drug addiction. And then the second album, To Death and Sucked, came out in 1992. That album was titled Longing for Death in North America, not unlike Judas Priest and the Killing Machine Hellbent for Leather thing. Like now, Judas Priest did that album, Killing Machine, but it was titled Hellbent for Leather in the States when it was initially released there. Atrocity's second album was really titled To Death and Sucked. The band always maintained it, what they call the album, but Roadrunner Records, who released the album in North America in 1992, released it under the name of Longing for Death. But anyways, it was in 1994 that Atrocity released their third album, titled Blut, which is the album that we are going to be discussing today. Now, Atrocity changed big time on this album. Now, when bands change their sound, they change for various reasons. Sometimes because they feel like they've done the same thing for too long and want to try something different after a while. Sometimes it's because lineup changes and one member brings some new influences to the fold. Another time it's because they're following musical trends. Another times it might be because they are kind of talked into it by the record label, etc. But you know, it varies as a band. The Atrocity went from being death metal on their first straightforward death metal on their first two albums to changing immensely in this album. With there is still some death metal elements that are present here, so it's not like they completely abandoned it, but they have elements of other genres such as groove metal or post-thrash, doom metal, some folky elements, some goth rock elements even, and anyways, this album is well, not a complete atrocity. Sorry, pun intended there. I know, not a good pun, but I intended it. It's definitely an album that I felt was worthy of being discussed in the Catalog Cripplers series because it did harm the band's career in a big time. Anyways, the times I am one of the albums I discussed that is actually one of the worst, if not the worst, albums I've discussed in this series is Massacre's Promise. There are parts of the album that do remind me of a little bit of a better version of what that was trying to be. Although it's nowhere near as bad as that album, don't get me wrong, but it's still not good in my books. Anyways, some songs on here, like I said, I can hear some groove metal on here. Riffs that sound reminiscent of something that Pantera or Prawn might write. But one problem that I really have with this album is the vocals of Alex Kroll, which were solid on the first two albums, but here they went way downhill. I don't know if it was because he was trying to adapt to a style he wasn't as comfortable performing, because he sounds more at ease of performing the death metal on the first two albums than he did with the sound that they were going for here. Anyways, there's one song on here that's there's one or two songs here that are in German. One of them is like a doom metal song, which is over 6 minutes long. I mean, I do like a fair number of doom metal bands. I mean, Candlemass is one of my favorite bands, but yeah, this is one track that really just doesn't go anywhere. It's just really very forgettable doom metal. And then there's also the song Misdirected, which has very cringeworthy lyrics and very poor vocal performance from Alex Kroll. And and there was also a song "Calling the Rain," which I've heard was released, got some airplay for the band in some parts of the world, probably on, I'd say, metal-oriented specialty shows and stuff, and college radio shows, I would assume there. Yeah, it has some more folky and gothic elements, and yeah, it's a bit of a ballad type song. It's really just. Yeah, it's not good. Well, it's not to my liking. If it's someone to your liking, then that's fine. I respect your opinion, but yeah, it's definitely, this is one case of an album. Even if you love the first two albums and you like this one, I respect your opinion, but one really should be blown. One should be have their mind blown as to why this album received a pretty negative reception from a lot of the fans of the first two albums. But there are some parts here that are not that bad. There's a semi-titled track. The album is called Blut. There's a song titled BLUT as an acronym, which is a German word for Blut. Is a German word for blood, by the way, just so you know. Anyways, that has a pretty neat riff in it, and so the album isn't completely without its merits, good points, but I do think that the negative aspects outweigh the positive aspects of this one. And Catalog Cripplers is mainly a series where I discuss albums that were known to have detrimental effects on the careers of metal bands, and this definitely had a negative effect on Atrocity's career. Anyways, this is definitely not the worst album I've discussed in the series, but it's definitely not an album that's really worth your time either. I recommend listening to the band's first two albums, Hallucination and To Dust and Sucked, instead of listening to Blut. Anyways, thank you very much for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. Just enjoying some Pepsi throwback there. Anyways, thank you very much for watching this video. This is Required Field signing off, and goodbye.